Immortal Shell's great. Immortal Shell sucks. Fatebreaker's better than all the Celestials. Yeah, well, Supplement's not as good as the Echoes. I actually did my testing, and my cousin said that Glass Cannon beats everything, and that the Celestials are mandatory. We've heard so many rumors going around lately in the Endless Ragnarok community that honestly, I'm tired of it. Let's let the numbers speak for themselves. We're going to go over whether or not Immortal Shell is actually good, if it's better than any certain sigils, whether Supplement's better than damage cap, and whether the Celestials are really going to be king. At the end, we'll also go over the Lucilius sigils because we've also been asked, hey, is Alpha, Beta, or Gamma better? We've also been talking about, what do I remove if I have to replace something? And our mastery traits also have basic stat sigils, so how do we combine those? I'm not sure how long this video is going to be, but what I do know is I've been meaning to make it for a while, and we've talked about it on stream a number of times. And with everybody coming in with their he said, she said, I'd rather just show you the math. So we'll start off by saying I went ahead and made a preset of gear. We just threw on the Terminus, and I threw on basically everything that could add damage, right? So we have, I'll just go over everything here. We have Lumen, we have Terra, Ventus, we have Aqua, damage cap is capped, supplement is capped, Berserker and Spartan Echo are here as well. We have Glass Cannon and War Elemental. Headed down here, we have our Warpath. We don't need to use the other character sigil on Gallanza for the sake of this test because it's not going to add damage with what we're doing. I added in a beta, I added in a gamma. Now you may be thinking, hey, well, if I'm going to add a beta, Lucilius' sigils already have damage cap on them. While that's true, your summons could have just alpha, beta, or gamma. So for the sake of this argument, we're going to talk about them in a vacuum. I've also added Supplement with nothing good on the passive. I've added Spartan Echo with nothing good on the passive, and I've added Berserker Echo with nothing good on the passive. I would have done the same thing with War Elemental, but we're going to be using a skill for the test, so it's basically nothing good on the passive. I wanted to have a controlled environment, so we did what we could. For mastery traits, the only one I really care about talking about today is going to be this attack damage cap, because it's the only one that has really a trade-off with natural defense. All of the other damage caps are just free to take. So, sit back and relax. We're going to hit a dummy. Sometimes I speak a little quickly, and I've received a lot of positive feedback on slowing down my explanations recently for people, so we're going to continue to do that today. First thing we're going to do is we're going to practice on a training dummy, our good old Sir Barrold. Now, because Gallanza's Warpath skill increases his damage by 20% when he is in his Deathmatch finale, we are going to do two things. One, you will see here if I just Eye of the Storm, that swings for 17,020,357. We're going to restart the changes, and we're going to transform. You can do a few things to transform. I'm just going to do a basic power combo. Basic power combo. You could also turbine if you really wanted. Doesn't matter too much. And then we go into Deathmatch finale. Now we're at 11.4. So let's see how much damage we do with the Eye of the Storm now. Puts us up at 36. That's a 25 million increase. You can see that the damage dealt plus 20% on Gallanza's sigil is increasing our overall damage. Now there is something more important than that happening here, which is why I did not use my Deathmatch finale skill. And that is on Gallanza. When you use Deathmatch finale, you're going to get a buff. In Endless Ragnarok, these buffs increase our damage past damage cap. Now, you may be thinking, why am I talking about Gallanza specifically in a video for everybody? Well, if you look here, we hit 26.6 million instead of the 17, right? Meaning that attack buffs on any character are going to increase your overall damage past the cap. This is great because there's a lot of characters in Endless Ragnarok that have buffs now. So keep that in mind. Our controlled environment for the test today is going to be with that buff from going into our Deathmatch finale, and it is going to be using Eye of the Storm skill because it is the only one that is not going to kill it's not going to kill Sir Barrold when he's in Chaos++. So if you look here, if I go to training menu, over on the top right, you're going to see my attack stat is 150,000. Right? It's important to note. You'll see we have Fatebreaker on. If we take Fatebreaker off, and you go in here, Right, notice 150,000. Now, Sir Barrold, Mr. Buddy. Here's like two things you could think about when you're looking at Sir Barrold, right? We put him into a Chaos Plus Plus, and you go over here and you're still going to see the 150k, right? No problem. Bada bing, bada boom. No problem. If you go into a Fatebreaker grade quest, you will see the attack go up. See the 150k under his HP on the top right? Now it's 225,000, showing you that Fatebreaker is active. Now, for the sake of the length of this video, I'm not going to go into a Defy Infinity quest, but feel free to go in yourself and check it. You will see the stat increase. You will see the Fatebreaker is active in Defy Infinity. All Fatebreaker means is any endless Ragnarok content. So if you see that a summon's available, good chances are Fatebreaker is going to work. So Chaos, Chaos Plus Plus, Defy Infinity. In fact, I'm going to put that to bed before we even talk about our Immortal Shell. Thank you very much for sticking around. I know this is going to be a long video, and we're going to ramble a little bit, but honestly, what would you guys prefer? Hearing my genuine thoughts and showing things, or writing a script, reading a script, and be like, hello, today we are going to talk about Immortal Shell and whether it's good or whether it's bad. No. Screw that, man. I think that's a little weird, you know? I think it's a little weird. So we're going to go into Defy Infinity the World real quick, and we're just going to show you. We have 150k attack right now. We're going to pop in here, and we're going to probably whiff the parry. So, you know, I'm old. My reaction time is bad, as you can see. And we go up into the top right, and you will see the 225k. So our damage is buffed in Defy Infinity, and I have lost all player skill, and you should not listen to me because I cannot perfect guard the world. No, it's not so bad. It's not so bad. I do have a busy week. So at the time of this recording, I have come off of my other job. I took a nap. We're getting ready for the new content in Final Fantasy XIV. There is a 48-player event that's going to be going on, and I really wanted to make sure I could put this video out for you guys so you had something to watch through the week while I'm not playing Granblue. That is meaningful, right? That is meaningful. So, the way I'm going to break this down now that we're ready to explain, and now that you've seen the damage increase on Fatebreaker is active if we do set Sir Barrold to Chaos++, and you see that it is active in Defy Infinity, which is, you know, one of the biggest questions I get in stream is, does Fatebreaker work? Why aren't you bringing it? Does it work in Defy Infinity? So, when I break this gear down, we're going to be testing Immortal Shell. And we're going to test it just from the top down. Weak points, whatever, it's just on the weapon by accident. It's not actually increasing my damage. That is part of the damage cap. There are some sigils that you'll have that say increased damage dealt, and it is still part of the cap. This is one of them. Combos, one of them. Charged attacks is one of them. Don't be fooled. They're not actually increasing your damage. We're going to start with Lumen, and then we'll just head down the list, and we'll take a look at what is and what isn't better. So the first one is Lumen. This is going to increase our damage cap by 70%. If we trade this out for Immortal Shell, theoretically, Terra should have a similar effect. A single damage cap being lost should be a little bit of a bigger loss. Aqua is not necessarily quantifiable, and we'll get into that later. Fatebreaker should be weaker than Lumen. Glass Cannon should be weaker than Lumen. And War Elemental is just OP. We're not going to take this off. It is just really strong. In fact, we'll show you why. So, if we go in here, we go into our Deathmatch finale, and we Eye of the Storm. We're hitting 26.677 million damage. And we'll just take off the War Elemental briefly. 26,677. As you can see, that's a 5 million damage loss. That is not worth it. And we don't deal weak damage. All for all, it's really bad. It is affecting our against foes of weaker element damage dealt 10%. So, not great. So, War Elemental is here to stay. Just get that out of the way real fast, yeah? Get that out of the way real fast. Also, if I repeat myself or I forget where I'm saying, I am recovering from a concussion. I do apologize. Please be a little patient with me. I know it's a little weird for a video format, but thank you for your understanding. Okay, first thing we want to do is test Lumen. So here is our test. Our baseline damage for today is 26, 677, 780. And I'm actually going to write that down so I do not forget. Baseline 26, 677, 780. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is remove our Lumen. And so when you're trading things out, I have added additional basic attack sigils because we have a passive that increases our damage cap by 40%, up to 5 basics. So I added more than 5 so that when we take one of these away, we still have the bonus from the 5 basics. Okay. So it is Immortal Shell time. Trade in Immortal Shell. Do you think this damage will be higher, lower, or the same as Lumen? Let's find out. 27, 917, 91. This is an increase of 340,000 damage. If you remember, it was 26, 677. Here we have 27, 917. Now, as you scale up into the hundreds of millions and the billion damage you will deal in an entire Infinity Quest, this will add up. This is not small, right? If you figure 1% of our 26.6 million is 266,000. And if we increased our damage by 350,000, that's like what, 1.5% difference? It's not amazing. It's not big, it's not small, it just is. I don't care about how much of a gain this is or how much of a loss this is. All I want to put to rest in our debate today is if it's more or if it's less. That's all. That's all I care about. That's all I care about. When you're discussing Immortal Shell, there is a note. You get every benefit you see here. So the attack plus 10% on 4 pincers, you get that, but it's part of the pre-cap, so it doesn't matter. The crit is 10%. Again, you're already going to be at 100%, so it doesn't matter. You get HP over time, which is fine. So you get regen and you get drain. Both are okay. They're not too bad. The defense plus 2%, the damage cap 5%, the supplementary 5%, and the overall, after everything is calculated, 2% damage up. Now that sounds small, 2%. But if you're talking about everything added together, including all the Celestials, including the supplement, and then add 2%, it's a bigger number than you think. As you can see here, it just beat the 70% Lumen. So let's go ahead and put the Lumen back in. I did save our handy dandy trusty wusty set right here. So slap that back on. And just to double check, we're always going to do this this baseline test and make sure our damage is back where it's supposed to be before we change our next sigil. There's the 26, 677, 780 controlled environment. So we have seen that Immortal Shell beats Lumen. Now, because Aqua is not terribly quantifiable, we can skip it today. What is next on the list? It's not terribly quantifiable, and the reason I can talk about it now is because this is when foes are in break, including your link time and a chain burst, and this is going to happen sporadically and infrequently. It's going to depend on your team. Maybe you will get more link time in certain parties than others, and it will be an incredible damage gain. But it's not terribly quantifiable. It is a huge, 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 huge gain. Use it at your discretion. I think Aqua's valuable. I do. It depends, you know? Just make a judgment call. I trust you guys. I trust you guys. Okay, so we've tested Lumen. Let's test Terra. So Lumen was 70%. Terra is also 70%. We should see the same difference. Theoretically. So here's the Immortal Shell. And I need to write this number down so that I don't forget it. So I'll take a moment after we hit to write this down. 27, 917, 91. I believe that was the same number. 27, 917, 91. And I'll write minus 70%. Lumen, Terra. So as you can see, not only is Immortal Shell a gain over Terra, but we did not have to sacrifice 30% of our max HP to deal this damage, which is huge, right? I think that's very valuable, personally. Right? Instead of having the 70% damage cap, HP minus 30%, we slapped on you know, we slapped on our Immortal Shell and called it a day. Now, later on, we'll get into removing basic sigils in addition, because sometimes that's the trade-off. And when we get there, we'll get there. Okay, up next, now we have Ventus. Ventus is an incredibly powerful sigil. Of the Celestials, I rank it number 1. If we remove this sigil and we pop in Immortal Shell, our baseline damage was 26,677,780. Do you think this 10% overall damage gain, do you think Immortal Shell will be higher, lower, or the same? Let's find out. 26,787,941. Immortal Shell beats Celestial Ventus, which is absolutely crazy because Celestial Ventus is the best Celestial and it prevents healing. So if you don't want to run that, you run this, that's fine. But honestly, I don't want to really like guide you and say you must build a certain way because I'd rather you trust the numbers. But Immortal Shell and Ventus are in all my builds, both of them. Both of them together. Both of them together. Very, 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 very strong. So go back to our build. And as you've seen, Ventus gets beat by Crab. Terra gets beat by Crab. Aqua might not get beaten by Crab. There's hope for Kingdom Hearts yet. And then the fourth guy, Lumen, gets beat. Is it better than Fatebreaker? To do this, we are going to need to change our practice. Practice settings, go over to Sir Barrold. Under Infinity HP, we're going to change it to Chaos++, and we're going to restart the change. This is our normal build right now. And that was 27,171,955. 27,171,955 Chaos++, I'll write down. So, what happens if we take out Fatebreaker and we replace it with Immortal Shell? Do you think the damage will be higher, lower, or the same? Seeing as how Fatebreaker is a 50% damage cap, and this already beat Lumen, you should think that Immortal Shell should sweep. 28,658,916. Immortal Shell's favor. That stopped Fatebreaker by almost 1.5 million damage. It's very strong. It's very strong. As you can see here, Immortal Shell is performing a lot better than some people say that it does. But is it so wild that it's a huge increase? I've seen people throw around numbers like 140% gain. It's not, you know, it's not crazy, man. A lot of people have thrown these numbers around. It's not insane. It's not crazy. It just is, you know? So we can leave Fatebreaker to go back to our baseline. We're gonna leave the Chaos++ to go back to our baseline of 26,677. Yep, so we'll go back to practice settings. We'll set it to infinite HP again. And now what is left? Does this beat a regular damage cap? To do this, we're going to have to remove several of these. 1, 2, 3. Now our damage cap is 51 out of 65. So we're missing 14 levels, which is 75%. Let's see what happens. Oh, and we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 basic sigils. So we have not affected the number of basic sigils that we have gained. We're still at max cap. From the 26,677,780, we have now dealt 25,936,524 in an amazing upset. In an amazing upset, damage cap has beaten the Immortal Shell. Oh my god! Now, I could be super energetic, but I feel like for the sake of this kind of test, I wanted to just be analytical. I know some people do like the entertainment value, and I hope that you'll forgive me, but there are a lot of people out there who just want to hear the math and focus on the math, and they get a little distracted if I'm doing silly voices and stuff. But I do like to do the silly voices. I do like to do the silly voices. It's just for the sake of this argument, for the sake of what we're doing, I hope you'll understand. Okay. So now you've seen damage cap. Damage cap beats our Immortal Shell, which means that a basic Sigil plus damage cap is absolutely going to beat Immortal Shell, right? So we don't have to check that. Up next is supplementary damage. This is a wild one. I'm going to bang the supplemental out of there. And now we have it on a summon. Now, there are people saying supplemental's only 10%, saying it's 20%, saying it's 40%, saying it scales with Spartan Echo and Berserker Echo. While I already know the answer, I would rather you just see the math. I don't want you to just believe me. So the first thing we're going to do, we've taken out all supplemental. We still have the echoes, and you can see here, we've lost a lot of damage, but I did forget to put in the Immortal Shell. Okay, so our baseline is 26, 677, 780. So supplemental tests, I'm going to write down. 25, 174, 589. We have lost 1.5 million damage. That's insane. That's insane. That's crazy. So here's a good question for you. What happens if we add in Immortal Shell? I got to add in the supplemental again. Okay, so you've seen the supplementary difference now. Right, you've seen the supplementary difference. What happens if we remove an echo? What will the damage be? The damage without supplement at all is 25, 174, 589. People are saying Spartan Echo and Berserker Echo are way more powerful. So the question is, what'll happen? Let's change Fatebreaker from here over to a summon so that we can remove one. We'll remove Spartan Echo. Why not? We should have a Fatebreaker 15 that we can use. I hope. I have a Fatebreaker 15 that will not affect our passives. Okay, cool. All right. So Fatebreaker's in. Immortal Shell is in. And as you can see, Spartan Echo is out. So if Spartan Echo is stronger than Supplement, our damage should be lower than 25, 174, 589. Let's see. Would you look at that? 25, 174, 589. The numbers do not lie. And if you do not trust me, let's take a Berserker Echo out, and we're going to trade it for a Spartan Echo, and you should see the same exact damage difference. And the reason why, right? The reason why is because Supplementary and the Echoes are 20% damage each. I would not be surprised if this winds up 25, 174, 589, and it does. So as you can see, not only is Immortal Shell a loss over Supplement, Supplement is a gain over literally everything. You do not give up supplementary damage, you do not give up Spartan Echo, and you do not give up Berserker Echo unless you're playing a character where Supplement interacts differently. Sometimes it could behave strangely. I believe somebody was saying fairies' pets don't use Supplement. I don't know if that's true or not, but if that's the case, then Supplement it's going to lose its value, right? It's going to lose its value. So let's go ahead and change our set back. We're going to make sure our summons are set up again. I'm going to slap this one back on. Cool. We've got everything where it needs to be. We're back to our set. We have now tested Lumen and Terra and Ventus, damage cap, supplement, Berserker Echo, Spartan Echo, Aqua we discussed, Fatebreaker we talked about, War Elemental we've shown, Glass Cannon. This should be a no-brainer. It's not even 50%. Like, this is, you know? You know? Drain. Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't place, I believe I could take out this damage cap for Immortal Shell, and we're still capped. Yes, I can. Okay, cool. So we took out Glass Cannon. We're pretending that we're trading the Glass Cannon for Immortal Shell. So 26, 677, 780, and we did 28, 182, 029. Immortal Shell curb stomps Glass Cannon. Not even a big deal. So here's a good question. 28, 182, 029. How much of a damage loss is swapping to Claw of the Dragon Slayer? Our Ascension weapon? If we swap to our Ascension weapon, we keep our damage cap capped. That's the thing I was worried about. $26,083,695. $26,083,695. Basically 26 million. 26 to 28 million is a 2 million difference. It's about 10% damage loss. It's about 10% damage loss. Is it worth it for the survivability? Some say yes, some say no. It's really going to depend on you. That's your call. I like using Ascension. I like not dying in a single hit. You know, I like not dying in a single hit. Okay, so we've talked about basically everything. There were a couple of notes. People were asking, you know, are Lucilius's sigils dead now? Beta and Gamma, right? Are Beta and Gamma dead now? Let's talk about it. So, remember our baseline? Our baseline was 26,677, 780. We're going to trade out a Beta. So Beta is a larger damage cap gain than Gamma. So if it beats Beta, it will beat Gamma. And since it's 36% and it already beats a 70, we should already know the answer. 28, 277, 406. I don't even have to write that down or annotate or check. We just know that the Lucilius sigils are the weakest out of all of them. So let's get rid of them. Well, you know, much like those cooking shows, I have prepared a set for that. Now, we have a controlled environment where if we remove a double sigil, like Aqua and Stun, we will remove a basic at the same time. We wanted to check out and see. We already know that damage cap is not worth removing. We already know supplemental is not worth removing. We know there's no chance that we're going to remove Spartan Echo or Berserker Echo or War Elemental. So the question remains, do we remove Ventus and a basic? Let us check our damage because now we've removed Beta, we have removed Gamma. We're going to write down our new baseline. And again, thank you guys for sitting through. If you have watched all the way through to this point of the video, what do you think so far? What do you think so far? Hopefully this has been informative. I know it's a long talk and I always get really nervous with discussions. But it means a lot to me to get this out here and you guys have been asking for it for a long time. Okay. New baseline. 26,163,852. That's our new baseline. You guys have been asking for this, so I wanted to put it out there, and I hope that you're enjoying the video. It means a lot to me. It's currently almost 4 in the morning, actually, while we're recording this, but I wanted to make time for you guys. It's important to me. Okay, so if we take out Lumen and we put in Immortal Shell, it's a 1-for-1 trade. What's going to happen? 26,163,852. Wouldn't it be cool if Sir Barrold actually showed the previous damage on like another line? As you can see, our new damage is 26,942,107. No Lumen, -1 basic, plus Immortal Shell. What does this mean for us, guys? Gals, non-binary pals, what does this mean for us? This means, as you can see here, right, we've removed Lumen, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4 basic sigils. So we've removed Lumen, and we've removed one of the basics, and Immortal Shell still wins. Immortal Shell won by 700,000. Well, it was 680,000, but, well, it was 679,000. Well, it was 78,300. The point is Immortal Shell wins over a basic plus Lumen, which means that it wins over a basic plus Terra. Does it win? And again, Aqua's hard to quantify. You're going to make a call on that. It beats Fatebreaker plus a basic. But I will say, Fatebreaker offers 5% defense. So just real quick, let's show you what the difference is between trading out Terra for Fatebreaker. So Immortal Shell is in the build now. Let's say that that's like not the discussion happening. So Immortal Shell is here. And as you can see, 26,942, 107. If we take out Fatebreaker and we add in Lumen, if we take out Fatebreaker and we add in Lumen, we added in Stamina, but it's fake. We're already capped. 26,942, 107. Oh, right. We're not hitting a Chaos dummy. We're not hitting a Chaos plus plus. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All I'm trying to say here is Fatebreaker is going to be a little bit less damage, like a little less than 1% damage, and you get defense out of it. So make a judgment call. It's your choice. It's literally your choice. I don't think it really matters. It's not gonna. It's gonna affect the clear by like 2 seconds. You know, is Ventus plus an HP worth the Immortal Shell? I think. What do you think? Higher, lower, or the same? Higher, lower than the same. So the baseline is 25, 174, 589. 25, 174. Oh, I'm sorry. The baseline is 26, 163, 852. And I'll double check that after this hit. We had 25, 876, 616. Losing a basic and losing a Ventus both is not as good. You know, you wouldn't take the Immortal Shell over this. But again, you would take Immortal Shell and this. So, we have now talked about Lumen and Terra at the same time, because they're the same. We have talked about those with a basic. We've talked about damage cap. It already beats Immortal Shell, so we're not even going to test it with a basic, because it's just, we already know it's not going to work out. Supplementary, Berserker, and Spartan all individually beat Immortal Shell. Aqua's difficult to quantify, you can choose. Fatebreaker is weaker than Lumen and Terra, but it does provide defense. And it provides the attack up 50%. Not every character is going to just reach damage cap innately, so maybe you do want to use this. Glass Cannon's kind of crap. I wouldn't use it. Plus it has Dizzy. Like, it's whatever, it's crap. People use it in their test builds on the training dummy to simulate Fatebreaker. That's really like its application. You can use it on Lancelot. I actually do use it on Lancelot. If your character's going to dodge all the time, then it's free. War Elemental is like better than everything. Immortal Shell is incredibly strong. So, where do we sit from here, chat? Where do we sit from here? If I were to tell you what is absolutely required based on our testing from Immortal Shell, right? Our tests from Immortal Shell, we know that War Elemental, Spartan Echo, and Berserker Echo are demanded. In addition to that, supplementary, however you want to slot it in. I have a double supplement, so that is just taken care of, right? Those are absolutely mandatory. We know that one damage cap is going to beat Immortal Shell, which means that we can throw in our damage caps. So we're going to throw this in. We're going to throw this in. We're going to throw this in. And now we're sitting pretty at full damage cap, and we have the 3 basic sigils already taken care of. We don't have to think about them. Sometimes you'll get lucky and it'll be on your Warpath. That would be awesome. Next we have our Ventus. So it's a little complicated here. You could do the Ventus with the basic, and that wins. But you could also have Ventus as a substat on something else, and that's also fine. Here, we'll put it on stun. You also notice I'm prioritizing stun over health because stun is king. You really want to have stun in this game. This video is also, I guess, tangential to the how to fix your build video, in that it's also useful on how to curate how you're building, right? So then Immortal Shell. So we know that it's all of the supplements in War Elemental. We know it's damage cap, right? We know it's Ventus. We know it's Immortal Shell. We have 4 subs. We have 4 basics here. So now where do we go? Right? Now where do we go? We have so many options. From here, you can start adding in your damage, but you could also add utility. Things that are invisible, right? Rin, what does that mean? What do you mean things that are invisible? What do you mean? Quick cooldown, cascade, uplift. These buttons, very powerful. They're going to add a lot of utility. Uplift is going to help you use your limit break, your SBA, more often. Quick cooldown and cascade are going to get your skills off cooldown more often, resulting in more damage over the course of the fight. Whether quick cooldown is better for you or cascade, it'll largely depend on the character. I prefer cascade. I prefer using both on Lancelot, but it's going to depend on you. Uplift, really, really strong. You don't want to be in a situation where 3 of your characters are using SBA and then you can't. You know? Very, very powerful. These are invisible buffs because you can't necessarily quantify them on like a 60-second training dummy. You can a little bit, but like not uplift. That one's just going to be from combat, right? Linked together. Linked together is another one because you don't care about the chain burst damage. You don't care about the link attack damage. You don't care about the SBA damage unless you're not capped on those. You care about the link level gain because you can get more link times. Now, if you do a full SBA burst, you know, like in Endless Ragnarok, you're just going to have so many link times. It doesn't really matter. You know, it doesn't really matter. Like uplift, very powerful. Just 1 level, 12%. If you're using the Ascension weapon, 13. You know? Cascade, just 1 level. It's actually 16. It would be 1.6 or 1.7%. And then QCD, quick cooldown. QCD would be at, 10.2% or 10.4%. So they're all very, very strong. Do not forget about them, you know? Sometimes I don't talk about them in these videos because we're doing specific tests, but when you're making your build, stun, very important. Quick cooldown, cascade, uplift, all pretty important. Survivability is very important. Now, lately we've been doing a lot of builds where you want to run like Crab Vestment, so you get the damage cut, and Stout Heart for the damage reduction, and you know, defense stacking. And there are people who are telling you it's additive out there, but the defense gain, we'll make another video on this, but it's basically multiplicative with diminishing returns. So just keep that in mind. You're not going to be at the damage cut you think you are. Some characters could reach 100, but just stacking Stronghold and Garrison is not going to do that. You know what I mean? So you want to be smart about it. So what do we put in these last slots? What do we put in these last slots? If you really want to be really cool about it, improve dodge. If you're good at dodging, first off, this will help you with Beelzebub and Lucilius. It's way more important than blocking for Lucilius. Or I should say guarding, because blocking with like Vayne will delete the orbs, and that's really powerful, so that's strong. But yeah, improved dodge is good. It's low cost. It's just 1 sigil, and now you can just dodge for days, right? And then you could pair it with several things for invulnerable frames, namely Nimble Onslaught, namely Nimble Defense, and namely Dodge Payback. So if you use these, Dodge Payback is going to grant you attack up after a perfect dodge, and this is a buff. It will increase your damage, and I'll show that in a second. You will also attain Nimble Onslaught, which is invulnerability up. You're going to have these leveled, so it's going to give you invuln 2 seconds. Skill cooldown, SBA gauge, and then Nimble Defense. You'll get the invuln 2 seconds, defense up, and HP up. If you combine these and you run all 3, your invincibility will only be the plus 2 seconds. You're not going to get, or, you know, plus 3 if you already level it all the way up. You're not going to get like 9 seconds of invuln if you stack them all, you know? You'll get the plus 2, so that doesn't stack, but you will get the defensive recovery from this. You will get the SBA and skill cooldown from this, and you will get the attack up from this. So those will all be granted to you. So really, I would recommend just running 1. Dodge Payback is very good if you want the damage, But if you're trying to get SBAs, you know, because you value that, and skill cooldowns, you can use Nimble Onslaught. Or Nimble Defense if you want to heal, you know? A lot of different options. So just real quick, I would like to show you that dodge payback is a real button. Because I think that's another question where people aren't too sure. You know, I wasn't too sure. I'm sure now. Okay. So we're going to hit this guy for 26,200,265. 26,200,265. And now we're going to slap on dodge payback. I'm going to try to get a max level on it. Oh, we don't have a max level on it, so we just had a couple of sigils. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. Okay, we could do it this way. We'll actually boost that all the way to 30. Why not? Okay, so now we get attack plus 30%. So we're going to show you two things, right? What was it, 26,200,000? And again, thank you guys for sitting through this. I know it's a long video. I wanted to cover a lot of information for y'all. 26,200,265. There's a lot of information out there. You guys ask a lot of questions, and it's great. I love learning. I love teaching. So whatever we can learn together. You know what I mean? Oh, but I missed. Oh, right. I can actually show you the efficacy of improved dodge. This is good. This is a good opportunity because I just whiffed. Yeah, so I love you guys. And I want to put out as much information as I can, you know? And then it helps you. So improved dodge is in the build. I love that his armor just smashes onto the end of the 2x4. It's so cool. And as you could see, it went up from 26,200,000 to 28,173,000. So that attack up buff is working. It is working. It's pretty powerful. It's something I actually wasn't aware of. I might build it into my build. It's pretty cool stuff. It's pretty cool stuff. You also get guard payback in your build if you want to. Guard payback is boosts the amount of stun dealt after perfect block and boosts your attack power. This is 25,723. So there's also guard variants, you know. 25,723. Let's see if I can actually perfect guard this. 25,723. 28,569. So as you can see, guard payback works as well, and it's free on your Terminus weapon. So if you want to run it, run it. Right? What are you going to do? Glass cannon? You're going to glass cannon for a cost, but you're going to guard payback for free. It also adds a ton of stun gauge. Like, look at that. Plus 90%. That's huge. How can you beat it? How can you beat it? So yeah, I mean, I really just wanted to show you guys, like, Crab Vestment is so good. This has been a long video. Thank you so much for hanging out. I know it's incredibly long. I apologize. Maybe somebody will be nice enough to post the timestamps on relevant information breaks that I think it's all valuable, so sometimes my brain has a hard time splitting it up. But feel free to post timestamps in a comment below. And if you have other questions or other videos you want to see, please do not hesitate to ask. You know, I'll be live all week. The more support I get in these videos is the less time I need to invest in my other job, as the more I get to put back into you guys. So thank you very much. You've all been very supportive. You've all been really wonderful, and it's been great getting to meet people and set up parties and help you with your clears and just share what I know about the game. That's all from me. Love you guys, and, you know, I'll catch you next time. See ya.